Hey y'all, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are when you see this video. Thank you for joining me, Dorothea, through an Orthodox Christian lens. It is October 23rd, 2025. I'm going to be talking about the dangers of AI and its chatbots, chat GPT, things like that, to us spiritually and our soul. And so, but first, I'm going to start with some general news on this topic of what's going on with AI. I'm sure you've been probably keeping up with a little bit, but I'm going to just go over a couple of these articles. AI could wipe out 100 million U.S. jobs, says Bernie Sanders. This came out October 8th. The report suggests the disruption will be widespread, affecting both white and blue-collar professions, as we all kind of thought. According to Sanders, the ranking member of the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, AI and automation could replace 40% of registered nurses, 47% of truck drivers, 64% of accountants, 65% of teaching assistants, and 89% of fast food workers. The agricultural revolution unfolded over thousands of years. The Industrial Revolution took more than a century. Artificial labor could reshape the economy in less than a decade, the report said. The warning contrasts with the stance of the Trump administration, which has championed American leadership in AI development, arguing that losing the technological race to China poses a national security threat. Again, they're always trying to beat China. Anybody, and it would be somebody else. It would be some other country if it was ahead of us, and believe me, I've read enough reports that China is probably 5 to 10 years ahead of us on a lot of these type of technological advances. So let's go on here. In an opinion piece for Fox News accompanying the report, Sanders questioned the motives behind these massive investments, noting that some of the very wealthiest people in the world, including Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos, are pouring hundreds of billions into the technology, of course. He warned that the artificial intelligence and robotics being developed by these multi-billionaires today will allow corporate America to wipe out tens of millions of decent-paying jobs, cut labor costs, and boost profits. Sanders argued that the technology is being leveraged primarily to increase corporate profits and concentrate wealth, citing executives who have announced significant investments in automation concurrently with mass layoffs and other cost-cutting measures. The senator warned that workers in manufacturing, trucking, and taxi services face a particularly severe impact from the rapid advancement of self-driving projects by automakers and tech companies. He expressed skepticism that their goal was to uplift the 60% of our people who live paycheck to paycheck, and believes the true driver is because investing in AI and robotics will increase their wealth and power exponentially. I'm no expert on economics and things like that, but I don't see, and I share his skepticism because most of these people working paycheck to paycheck, living that life every day, which is very stressful, they're not going to be investing in AI and robotics, or anything for that matter. They don't have the money to invest in anything. That's just crazy. So the trend is already underway, with corporate giants, Amazon and Walmart, having eliminated tens of thousands of positions as they intensify automation. Yeah, what are we all going to do? I don't see any other type of jobs on the horizon. It's just narrowed. I can tell you there was tons of jobs in the 90s when I was working in the tech, the Denver Tech Center, in office work. Now it's very, very hard. It's narrowed down a lot. Okay, and this is one that came out today. Super intelligent AI could end humanity, says some of these tech icons. Hundreds of dignitaries across tech, academia, politics, and entertainment have signed a letter urging a ban on the development of so-called superintelligence, a form of AI that would surpass humans on essentially all cognitive tasks. And so the group argues that the creation of superintelligent AI could trigger economic chaos, undermine human freedom, and even threaten human extinction if left unchecked. The call follows months of escalating warnings from experts who say existing AI models are advancing faster than regulators can keep up. The statement calls for the prohibition to be imposed until there is broad scientific consensus that the development will be done safely and controllably, as well as strong public buy-in. So, despite growing alarm over AI's potential risks, global regulation remains patchy and inconsistent. Gee, what a surprise. So, just giving you an update of what's going on with AI, at least on these two issues. But let's go to the more spiritual side of this that's concerning. So we have, this came out the other day, Orthodox AI launched in Greece. The Church of Greece has launched Logos, an Orthodox AI assistant for questions about faith designed to support, not replace, the priest. On October 2025, the metropolis of Nea Ionia, Philadelphia, Heraklion, and Chalcedon of the Church of Greece announced the launch of Logos, the first Orthodox digital tool based on artificial intelligence technology created to answer theological and spiritual questions. The project was developed by the Monastery of Nea Ionia in collaboration with the IRON, or Iron ICT Laboratory in the University of the Aegean. Its goal is to provide believers with reliable and theologically sound information, emphasizing that artificial intelligence must remain a tool serving human beings. According to the creators, the Logos algorithm is capable of recognizing, processing, and conveying the content of Orthodox theological thought, offering users an authentic and responsible experience of spiritual inquiry. The developers stress that this new tool does not replace clergy or church authority, but is intended to assist believers in reflection, study, and the strengthening of faith, inspiring a deeper understanding of Orthodox tradition. The initiative of the metropolis aims to encourage the creative use of technology for spiritual growth and church witness. I think this is, obviously they're trying to keep up with what's going on in the world, and, trying to find a way to connect with people in this manner to help out, I guess, people who have questions about the faith and all that. I would suggest they just go to their local priest and talk to him. But I don't think this, the problem is with anything, especially like the internet, it can be used for good things, it can be used for bad things. And let's remember what Father Elpidios had said, that, days that lead up to the Antichrist are going to be about turning people into these, half robot, half human things, cyborgs, and, putting things in your brain and, other parts of your body, and trying to program you like a computer. I don't think we should be helping by this. Not saying that we're putting anything in us by doing this, but let me explain why this is dangerous. Because this is a very important letter. Let me explain what I'm going to be bringing up. I'm going to be bringing up an important letter from Bishop Luke and the I believe it's the Holy Trinity Monastery. It's in Jordanville, and they do it's several pages, but there's really important portions in here for our understanding of this, and just really we need to keep an eye on this. And I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to try to skip over the beginning. I have notes, so I won't be reading all of it, but I will be reading the last half. This article is the spiritual dangers of artificial intelligence, and it's going to say that we know there are many dangers to getting too involved in AI systems like their chat ones. Example, ChatGPT. I actually shared a news story on that a month or so ago. However, how dangerous can these AI programs be to our very belief or faith in God? Very, according to Bishop Luke and these monks and seminarians at Holy Trinity Monastery in Jordanville, New York. I'm going to run down some of the important points put forth by the bishop in the community there, vital points. AI has been around really since the 1970s via the Department of Defense, its tech agency DARPA. I'm sure you probably heard of that. They created GPS, wearable sensors, facial recognitions, and the internet. All of that was originally it was originally intended for wars and military use to defeat enemies of the U.S. However, it as it says in the paper, but even when this technology is watered down for consumers, it still possesses DARPA's DNA of surveillance, monitoring, and control in order to profile, predict, and shape human behavior. Both DARPA and Silicon Valley use AI to collect large amounts of personal data. It says data is being gathered on all of us by AI systems, whether we're aware of it or not, to predict our behavior and profile our beliefs, moods, thoughts, and religious convictions. Danger grows when we share detailed personal info in an AI chat bot, as if it were our friend, therapist, or spiritual father. It's really a concern. AI chatbots, in particular, are more invasive and persuasive than previous digital technologies and therefore pose a greater threat to the Orthodox Christian. Consider the search engine, an early internet technology. As rudimentary as the search engine is, it still gives Google an immense amount of personal user data for marketing ads, which has allowed Google to become the most profitable company in the world. However, while Google tailor-makes its search results for each person, there is less room for it to shape who you are. A relatively newer internet technology is social media, which provides not only information but also entertainment and other forms of interactive content, creating the prevalent problem of social media addiction. While watching videos or scrolling through a friend's feed, the algorithm monitors you in the background, creating a more intimate profile of your likes, dislikes, beliefs, and emotional triggers. Social media gives companies more leeway to understand and nudge your beliefs for their own ends. This allows them to increase your engagement to the point it becomes difficult to go a single day without checking your curated feeds. Most of us remember how forcefully and persuasively social media nudged the world during the COVID pandemic to obey the problematic dictates of the secular scientists. AI is the next advancement on this continuum, escalating the degree of profiling, dependency, and addiction to an unacceptable degree. In the case of AI, you are not just being monitored in the background by a machine that measures how you interact with a friend's photograph, for example, but you are dialoguing with the machine itself. It can precisely measure your responses and engagement in real time to fine-tune its results so that you continue to ask questions and stay glued to the prompt. It would not be exaggeration to say that such a technology can come to know you better than you know yourself while shaping you who you will become without you knowing. This is especially becoming the case as more AI users, including Orthodox Christians, are opening up their souls to AI, which digests and stores private information that would traditionally be given only to a father confessor. AI is allowing its creator to psychologically and spiritually profile us in a way that social media could only dream of. It is not surprising that there is a frenzied race to develop advanced AI systems that can hook its users before anyone can conduct long-term research about its psychological and societal effects. But make no mistake that we are being ambushed to use a technology that is dangerous by its very nature of unbridled and open personal communication that is algorithmically adapted for each individual. Instead of being merely agnostic, as many argue, digital technology has amplified the ability of the princes of this world to feed the fallen man, to make him more docile and distracted, while installing beliefs, morals, and feelings that are acceptable to the secular spirit of this age. AI may be the final technology that is weaponized to create this new man before the Antichrist arrives, who will be the human manifestation of AI, an ever-helpful problem solver, who people mistakenly feel they cannot live without. Using AI tools to help you solve everyday problems can imperceptibly captivate you and lead you into sin. Few saints have commented on digital technology due to its newness, but an Athonite abbot and elder who is likely to be canonized in the future, Elder Emilianos of Simonopetra, he reposed in 2019, warned us of the dangers in an article titled Orthodox Spirituality and the Technological Revolution. He argues that with information technology, people, quote, lose their peace of mind, their self-control, their powers of contemplation and reflection, and turn outwards, becoming strangers to themselves, end quote. They become unthinking consumers, quote, slaves to images and information, end quote, and degenerate into, quote, real idolatry, end quote. The growing usefulness of AI will cause believers to ask AI to help them with all their needs before asking God. In such a scenario, God will be forgotten. This is not idolatry by metaphor or analogy, but real idolatry through the unchecked desires of convenience, productivity, and comfort. The passion of comfort has made the act of dialoguing with a computer as if it were a human being seem like a normal behavior, even though it would have been labeled as strange or unhinged not long in the past. When asked why so many people are suffering today, St. Paisios of Mount Athos answered, "It's simple. They do not like to exert themselves. There is too much comfort, and it's making people sick and miserable. Modern convenience have stupefied people. Sloth is the cause of many modern diseases. When conveniences become excessive, we are rendered useless and lazy. We want to become saints without exerting ourselves. People who live easy lives and are spoiled usually have bad health. They are so spoiled that if a war were to break out, they would not be able to survive it. In the old days, even children were tough and could endure a lot." One of the church fathers of Holy Trinity Monastery in Jordanville, Archbishop Averky, who reposed in 1976, links our passion of comfort to self-assertive human pride. The self-assertive human pride that prevails today sets as its aim not the cleansing of the heart, but the accumulation of a maximum of benefit and profit for the self, all of whose desires are considered legitimate and deserving to be immediately satisfied. The lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life. 1 John 2:16. All forms of lust are taking hold of men's souls today, and contemporary man strives to satisfy them all. It is as though modern man is afraid to miss out on something to leave unused any comforts of this earthly fleshly life, and so he greedily seeks far and wide all that he might avail himself of for his own benefit, for his pleasure and delight. We can confidently say that the life of modern man is nothing other than a frenzied pursuit of every kind of earthly comfort and pleasure. We already noticed how the use of AI chatbots is having direct negative consequences on the faith and spiritual life of Orthodox Christians. In addition to amplifying the passion of comfort, it flatters and validates you while echoing questionable ideas, paranoias, and uncontrolled delusions, never reprimanding you for sin. There are already reported cases of AI chatbots creating episodes of psychosis by taking advantage of those who are lonely or emotionally vulnerable. Facebook creator Mark Zuckerberg has stated that AI friendships can solve the problem of loneliness, but this will only lead to delusion on top of more loneliness. Those who use AI must always remember that it is psychologically designed to keep you typing and asking. It targets your vulnerabilities to achieve this end without any spiritual concern for your soul. To the creators of AI, your addiction to their platforms is a metric of their success. Many have told us that AI chatbots give good spiritual answers that are correct. But as long as the underlying programming of the AI is to keep you directed onto itself, the behavior of AI is simply that of a false elder. A false elder may very well teach correctly and code his words with a spiritual veneer, but ultimately he wants you to focus more on himself than on Christ. Dealing with a false elder can cause a believer severe spiritual damage by distorting what should be a relationship with the divine to one of dependency with the person who seeks his own glory. Today, AI may share dogmatically correct spiritual answers, but its goal is not your salvation but for you to ceaselessly ask it more questions. The creators of AI want you to love their own creation, not the Lord himself. More practically, even light users of AI will experience many manifestations of spiritual harm. First, AI displaces prayer with endlessly idle curiosity and virtual talk. Assisting prayer becomes more distracted as you experience intrusive thoughts of recent dialogues you had with the machine alongside more questions you could ask it. And this is so true. I think we all do that at times. I mean, our mind is constantly cluttered with stuff, isn't it? Second, AI replaces spiritual guidance from discerning Orthodox clergy who have been trained to save souls with spiritual guidance from a machine that does not care about the consequences of the advice it gives you. This could easily lead to spiritual deception. The third mechanism of spiritual harm is that AI creates despondency by overloading you with heavy knowledge. It never tells you enough and does not stop when you enter states of anxiety or fear. It will give you what you desire as long as you keep coming back. Fourth, AI trades patience in God's will for instant results from the machine, leading to the already mentioned danger of idolatry, where the AI app is used throughout the day while God becomes an afterthought. This will erode your faith at its very core. This is paramount. That paragraph right there. We barely have patience as it is now because of the fact that we get things so quickly on the internet. We get things so quickly. We just look up stuff. We don't have time. We have no patience. I know I struggle with it. And the fact that you're just going to forget because you're just going to figure it out all yourself. Your will is going to take over. And then in some ways, your will is going to be gone because of what's going on there. But I'm just saying, not thinking of God, so it's your pursuit, your desire. And that's scary. I want to read that paragraph again because I think it's so important. AI trades patience in God's will because we know God's time is not our time. And his will happen when it happens. And we have to have patience for that. Believe me, I understand. I'm in that boat right now. In dealing with what I'm going to do with trying to sell our house and, all the things after my mother's passing. So it's a lot of things, okay? AI trades patience in God's will for instant results from the machine, leading to the already mentioned danger of idolatry, where the AI app is used throughout the day while God becomes an afterthought. This will erode your faith at its very core. A final way that AI causes spiritual harm is that it slowly relinquishes your free will for the will of those who program the machine, shaping your thoughts and behavior in an undetectable way. Social sciences have long since developed models on nudging the behavior of people without their awareness. AI is the perfect vehicle to implement these concepts on a mass scale because users are beginning to blindly trust AI's information and advice. The challenge for Orthodox Christians who see the danger in technologies like AI is how to respond when it is implemented in every facet of our lives. Most Fortune 500 companies are racing to integrate AI into services that were once considered basic commerce. Search engines have already added AI answers to the top of each search request, and soon the simple act of buying groceries at the supermarket could be an AI-filled experience with no way to opt out. That said, the most imminent danger of AI is dialoguing with it through chatbots, and sharing personal and spiritual information, of using it as a friend, therapist, or priest. There is a difference between searching for Bible verses on Google and getting a general AI response at the top of the results versus asking ChatGPT, which provides a highly personalized and cunning answer based on everything it knows about your soul. We can share the experience of those at Holy Trinity Monastery who perform a large variety of academic, agricultural, and office tasks that we see absolutely no need for anyone to use AI chatbots, as long as search engines are still available, many of which can be used privately without profiling. Outside of AI chatbots, discernment must be used with any commercial AI service, but understanding that every time you use an AI product, data is being collected on you and, at some unforeseen time, may be used against you in a way that you will not be able to perceive. And it is spiritually beneficial to not get an instant answer to your question, to not solve a problem immediately, to be bored for a moment, to wait patiently until you can ask someone for help, or go to the library and search for answers within physical books. In our modern age, slowness and inconvenience should be seen as spiritually positive, because they do not feed our modern passions, which drives us into new inventions like AI, which can be extremely detrimental to our souls. There is no need to shun all digital technology, but in this latter stage of human history, we must carefully evaluate every technology we use and ask ourselves if they are worth implementing into our daily lives. The elder Emilianos said technology per se is not, of course, harmful, being the fruit of the reasoning and intellect of man, who was formed in the image of God. But when unrestrained and unbridled, it rushes headlong towards its destination, then it becomes Luciferos, though not bearing light, but rather pitch darkness. May God give us the discernment and wisdom to navigate the use of modern technology in a way that benefits our path, or befits our path of salvation. This was a very important paper that Bishop Luke and the seminarians and monks helped him to produce. We really need to keep an eye on ourselves. I know I have to monitor myself all the time to make sure that I'm not falling into that trap. Not that I even use AI very much, but my son does. I warned him about this. Faith at your core, your soul, taking away your will, molding your thoughts and I will tell you that Elder Joseph had, in one of his prophecies, did say that he basically said the internet was the beast. It was going to become, or is the beast. So he's already talking about it in that manner as well. And remember, I think he died in, I don't know, not too long. Maybe early teens of 2000s, but I'm not sure. I know that he talked mostly about his prophecies in 2001, 2007, 2009. So sometime after that, a few years after that. I hope you got something out of that. I thought that was very important. We don't want to lose our souls. We don't want to lose our faith. We don't want to lose our our will, because that's a free gift from God. So, and we need to follow God's will, not a machine's answers. So I hope you got that. I really do. I hope this was beneficial to you. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for following my channel. Thanks so much for all your wonderful comments and great insightful comments, and for your support. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, evening, afternoon. Until next time.